Thirdly, we come to Buddhism. One should know that the world-honored one of great enlightenment is a great leader for all living beings, a great eye for them, a great bridge, a great helmsman, a great field of good fortune. The four sages and three ascetics of the Confucian and Brahmanical scriptures and teachings are referred to as sages, but in fact they are no more than ordinary people who have not yet been able to eradicate the three categories of illusion. They are referred to as wise men, but in fact they are no more than infants who cannot understand the principles of cause and effect. With their teachings for a ship, could one ever cross over the sea of the sufferings of birth and death? With their teachings for a bridge, could one ever escape from the maze of the six paths? But the Buddha, our great teacher, has advanced beyond even transmigration with change and advance, let alone transmigration with differences and limitations. He has wiped out even the very root of fundamental darkness, let alone the illusions of thought and desire that are as minor as branches and leaves. This Buddha, from the time of his enlightenment at the age of 30 until his passing at the age of 80, expounded his sacred teachings for a period of 50 years. Each word, each phrase he spoke is true. Not a sentence, not a verse is false. The words of the sages and worthies preserved in the scriptures and teachings of Confucianism and Brahmanism, as we have noted, are free of error, and the words match the spirit in which they were spoken. But how much more true is this in the case of the Buddha, who had spoken not a false word for countless kalpas? In comparison to the non-Buddhist scriptures and teachings, the doctrines that he expounded in a period of 50 or so years represent the great vehicle, the true words of the great man. Everything that he preached, from the dawn of his enlightenment until the evening that he entered into nirvana, is none other than the truth. However, when we examine the 80,000 teachings of Buddhism expounded during a period of 50 or so years and recorded in scriptures, we find that they fall into various categories such as Hinayana and Mahayana, provisional and true sutras, exoteric and esoteric teachings, detailed and rough discourses, true words and false words, correct and incorrect views. But among these, the Lotus Sutra alone represents the correct teachings of Shakyamuni Buddha, the Lord of Teachings, the truthful words of the Buddhas of the three existences and the 10 directions. The world-honored one of great enlightenment designated a specific period of the preceding 40 years and more, and defined the various sutras preached during that period, numerous as the sands of the Ganges, as the sutras in which he had not yet revealed the truth. He had designated the Lotus Sutra preached during the 8 years as the sutra in which he now must reveal the truth. Thus many treasures Buddha came forth from beneath the earth to testify that all that you have expounded in the Lotus Sutra is the truth, and the Buddhas who are emanations of Shakyamuni gathered together and extended the long tongues up to the Brahma heaven in testimony. These words are perfectly clear, perfectly understandable, brighter than the sun on a clear day, or like the full moon at midnight. Look up to them and believe them, and when you turn away, cherish them in your heart. The Lotus Sutra contains 2 important teachings. The Dharma Analysis Treasury, Establishment of Truth, Precepts, Dharma Characteristics, and 3 treatises schools have never heard even so much as the name of these teachings. The Flower Garland and True Words schools, on the other hand, have surreptitiously stolen these doctrines and made them the heart of their own teachings. The doctrine of 3,000 realms in a single moment of life is found in only one place, hidden in the depths of the lifespan chapter of the essential teaching of the Lotus Sutra. Nagarjuna and Vajrabandhu were aware of it but did not bring it forth into the light. Tiantai alone embraced it and kept it ever in mind. The doctrine of 3,000 realms in a single moment of life begins with the concept of the mutual possession of the 10 worlds. But the Dharma Characteristics and 3 treatises schools speak only of 8 worlds and know nothing of the entirety of the 10 worlds, much less of the concept of their mutual possession. the Dharma Analysis Treasury, Establishment of Truth, and Precept schools derive their teachings from the Agama Sutras. They are aware only of the 6 worlds and know nothing of the other 4 worlds. They declare that in all the 10 directions there is only one Buddha, and do not even preach that there is any other Buddha in any of the 10 directions. Of the principle that all sentient beings alike possess the Buddha nature, they of course say nothing at all. They refuse to acknowledge that even a single person possesses the Buddha nature. In spite of this, one will sometimes hear members of the Precepts and Establishment of Truth schools declaring that there are Buddhas in the 10 directions, or that all living beings possess the Buddha nature. This is because the teachers of these schools who appeared after the passing away of the Buddha had stolen these Mahayana doctrines and incorporated them into the teachings of their own schools.